Hi folks, and welcome back to another Work in Progress Wednesday. This week I've finished working on the very basic version of this test level that I'm making. So let's take a look at what I've been doing. As I showed in last week's video, I had created an animation which plays whenever you take damage from an enemy. Now I wanted to give a bit more visual feedback to go along with that. So what you often see in games is that your character will flash red briefly whenever you take damage, and I thought, well, that's a great way to add some extra feedback there. So I've incorporated that here. I think it works quite well alongside the animation. It's amazing how little extra details can really bring the whole thing together. So when it comes time to adding in sound as well at some stage, then that will just round out this whole experience of taking damage. The next thing I did was create the 3 rounds of enemies that you will have to face within the game. Now, as I said before, whenever you defeat one round, that automatically spawns the next round of enemies, which has more and sometimes more difficult enemies that you will have to face, and then so on and so forth until you reach the final round and defeat them all, and you've won the game if you manage to get through them all. So what I did was take my Score Kids and my Willow Witches and throw several of them in each of these rounds that you have to go through, and that is the basis of each of these 3 rounds. The thing that I wanted to be sure of with this was that the dual purpose game over screen that I'd created previously, which was working for when you are defeated and you run out of health, also worked for when you completed the game and had defeated all 3 rounds of enemies. So as you can see in this video here, that has actually worked. It does pop up with the right information when you reach the end of the game and presents the right messages. All in all, it's very reassuring that that actually works. So what this means is that from start to finish, this game test level actually works, and it is ready in a way. Now, there are several things that I need to fix before the end of the month when this goes out. That includes fixing some of the behaviour on the enemies. So the Willow Witches are behaving a bit funky at the moment. They're not exactly transporting around the world like they should be. They just seem to spawn in the same place over and over again, which is not at all what I wanted. I also want to remove the bodies of the enemies that you've defeated so that they're not just cluttering up the level for no reason. So I've got in mind some cool effects that I could introduce to get rid of them and just leave a nice clean level for you to face whichever round of enemies that you are facing at that time. All in all, I'm on track to get this out at the end of the month, potentially with some extras. Like I mentioned previously, there may be some extra things added in. We'll see how it goes. What do you think about this week's video? I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.